welcome to your connection. I remember, Matt's sort of gone into a rubbish bin. into a rubbish bin.
You've brushed him off, have you?
Yeah, I sort of put him in the rubbish bin because he was quite annoying. I'm going to be hosting today, and I'm really pleased to have Amy Gordon, but Jamie's called Amy Custard. Custard, who got two Amy's.
Hi, Emma. Well, I don't know how I've got the name Amy Custard because I don't even really like custard. But I'm Amy Gordon, and I work in the involvement and engagement team alongside you, Emma, as a council member and a fabulous quality consultant.
Today, and we're gonna focus on co-production with Amy Gordon, and downward with nice chat what you've been watching on TV. We were checking what we said on the last council meeting.
Okay, I have to remind myself of what we said.
Council thought it would be important to talk about co-production with Amy Gordon. And Amy, why is the council very good at co-production?
Well, co-production is all about sharing power. So people that have support, people with lived experience, families, people that provide support, professionals, all coming together to share power. So the council is such a great example of co-production because the council is led by the members. So you've got the chair and vice chair, people with lived experience. The council set their own agenda. They're very powerful in the way that they decide what they're talking about and what their priorities are. And then they have equal voice in some of the really important groups and meetings and projects across dimensions, like health and safety, safeguarding, meeting with the group executive team, meeting with the board, and then doing really fun, powerful things like the social media takeover in May, where kind of the council members took over Dimension social media and were able to share the things they wanted to share during the week. And then within the group, it's a great example of co-production because people are supported to take a lead, to have an active role in the council, to lead the activities and lead things when we're having meetings. So we try really hard to find ways for people to have their own power, but also to be really powerful collectively.
It was quite good because every council member had like their little jobs to. Each council member had their little jobs to do, like somebody did the icebreaker, somebody came up with a Skittles game, and then we came up with musical chairs. We came, and I did a bit on our campaigns. With somebody else, what I enjoyed. So we all did our bits, and I think that's really good. What do you think, Amy?
Well, I thought it was fab. Everyone kind of had a chance to choose as well what they wanted to do and how much they wanted to do. And then we had one of the things that really stood out for a lot of people at that 2-day meeting was the second day with the board, where we had the bus activity, where we had kind of this amazing bus that Angela and Tabs were moving along a kind of a road with some bus stops, and it was all about what the council had achieved during the year. So in the past we've kind of showcased, these are the things that the council has achieved, but this time we asked people in the room, so colleagues, board members, members of the involvement team, campaigns, advocacy, to get on the bus if they had supported one of those pieces of work. So thinking about co-production, we could really see clearly who had worked together on the different things that the council had achieved. It was a really nice visual way of showing, and I think every single person was on the bus. Maybe there was one person who didn't get on because they were quite new, but what was really nice about that is they then made a commitment to kind of support the work of the council this year. So that was a really good visual representation of how the work of the council has been co-produced throughout the year.
Yeah.
Also, it's just nice. Everyone had those little people, didn't they, Emma, with the faces on?
Oh yeah. I quite liked the musical chairs because we had one line of exec team on one side of the room had the board on it, so everybody changed around, and then we had these question seats where we could ask a question from people. Go on.
The leadership musical chairs, the questions were all about leadership, and we wanted everyone in the room to feel like a leader. So whether you're a council member, a colleague, you sit on the board, everybody leads something and everyone has leadership qualities. And so the whole idea of that was to try and get tips from each other about leadership, also to sort of showcase the leadership skills of council members and the things that they had been leading on, get to know each other. Quite often in those meetings, or in any kind of meeting, you don't get the chance to kind of have these kind of quick fire, almost like speed dating. It was like leadership speed dating, wasn't it? It was a bit chaotic though, because we had quite a small space and everyone was bumping into each other and having a bit of a crazy boogie as they were going around. But that was the idea behind that one, and I think people learnt a lot about each other, didn't they, by doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what happened, and I really like that.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? I didn't get to join in. I was just trying to do the music with Jamie. We were trying to, it was like herding cats, trying to do that one.
Yeah. What's the difference then?
So what makes the council meetings really stand out, especially when we meet with the board and with exec, is that there's that equality between everyone. It's a really energetic meeting where everybody's collaborating, moving around, listening to each other. There's less of the kind of PowerPoint, standing at the front, talking at people, looking at reports and papers and things. It's a really fun, purposeful, meaningful way of engaging with each other around really, really big, often quite difficult conversations. But if we do that in a kind of if we facilitate really great activities, then we can really draw out, big decisions and key bits of work that everybody agrees they want to work on, and everyone's had a voice and had a say within that. So I think people leave those meetings feeling really uplifted and energized and And yeah, I mean, it'd be great if all our meetings were like that. How did it feel being there? What was it like? What are those meetings like for you? Do you feel like you have power and say within those?
Yeah, really powerful meetings, and I really like that. I know it's quite tiring for me, but I really enjoy those two days because we get to know the board, and other people from Damage don't often get to see the board as well.
Do you know what I really like about Dimensions and the way that it approaches involvement co-production is that it's really meaningful. So sometimes you can see involvement look like somebody coming to a sort of stuffy meeting, sharing their story, and then leaving again. Whereas this is actually about everybody being there as equal and learning from each other. That's partly why we did the leadership musical chairs as well, and the bus exercise. So you can see how people have worked together rather than this unequal power that sometimes you get when people do involvement work. You know, people with lived experience aren't there to share a story and leave again. It's about really drawing on everyone's experiences and working together to change things. So it's that kind of equal balance of professional input and lived experience, and just everyone being there as equal people. I suppose that's the nice thing about those meetings. That's the nice thing about the way that Dimensions approaches involvement.
What's the outcome of Dimensions Council meeting with the board?
So the kind of main focus from the afternoon on that day with the board was around the campaigning priorities that Dimensions wants to focus on, and starting to co-produce those together. So we had the board and council explored themes that had come out of the Working Together for Change programme, and that's the programme of sort of listening and seeking feedback and things like listening events and surveying and all the other kind of involvement activity that happens through the year, with kind of open to anyone that's supported by Dimensions, and taking that insight and the themes that have come out of that and starting to think, okay, what could that look like as a bit of work outside, external campaigning work? What could the council do? What could Dimensions do within Dimensions? So that was the kind of focus of that work. So what will come next is starting to think, okay, which of those campaigns do we actually take forward? Which bits of work are the council actually going to work on? And that's up for the council to decide. We'll be thinking about that in the next kind of couple of months. So that was the sort of outcome of that bit. And then the first day meeting, where it was just council members had the opportunity to think about being powerful and influential, and the areas within Dimensions and externally that council wanted to influence and wanted to prioritise as areas for influencing. So our next steps for that is to look at, okay, what did council members say, and then what we're going to start working on next year.
And Amy just ties up everything, gets everything ready, and just sort of helps us bring it all together. If they wasn't there, I think it would have been going to be a free for all. I think because we want to know what we want to do, but they tie all those things together and make it into a perfect bow.
Well, do you know what, Emma? That is so nice that you've said that, because when you do involvement well, the involvement people are the creating the spaces for people and all the admin and all the bits in the background that have good, meaningful ways for you to have a say. So I'm really happy that you didn't say that I write the agenda and stuff, because I didn't.
No, you do sort of help us write agenda.
Well, I think there's that connecting into the work of dimension, so joining the dots and kind of seeing how the bits that you want to talk about might actually have impact on the work that dimension's doing. Yeah, so it's good to know that council members still feel like they're kind of setting the agenda in terms of what they actually want to talk about. We just kind of connect it into the work of dimension, so it actually has impact.
Yeah. So I just, because it's like, oh, what was I gonna say now? Because because you help make everything pretty, because when I'm doing the slides for Discovery Committee, I know what I want to say, but you put everything together.
Well, thanks. I also buy the best biscuits as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Amy, you help us coordinate everything. You do all the background stuff, like you keep us all informed of what we're going to do. Yeah. And you communicate like I prefer a phone call. Some other people might want to email or something.
Mm-hmm. One of the things we did, Emma, when was it? May, I think, when we had that like pick and mix activity where it was like take what you need, and then it helped me identify like whether people needed like breaks, easy read, plain English, phone calls, what contact family. That was in order for people to join in fully, then we've got to support them to join in fully, and however that looks. So there's no point having a meeting if someone can't join in. So that's kind of the idea behind that. So towards the end of this year, was it November? Gosh, before Christmas time, we'll be doing some kind of chat groups for council members to talk about how they're finding council meetings, start thinking about like how they look, how they feel. Is it too much that we talk about? Are the agenda's too long? Is it just right? So we'll be having that conversation so that we're always checking in with council members about what they need so they can actually participate fully. And if people need to join in more in person, maybe we can look at that. It's all just constantly reviewing based on the needs of and wishes of the council members. And obviously we've got new chair and vice chair, haven't we? So it's good to do a bit of a review.
I'm very proud of coproduction because we production in a co-care and nobody's taken the reins. It's all through us enrolment team.
Well, we just had the election, didn't we, Emma, in September?
In September, yeah. And now we're going to talk about what council have been doing since September. September.
So in September, we had the election, didn't we, of the new chair and vice chair, and there was a lot of work go into that, and I think everyone in the team and everyone in the council was so proud of the effort that people put in and putting themselves forward, because that's a really big deal to step forward and kind of put yourself up for the election. So we're really proud of everyone for doing that. So we actually had a different process for the election this year. We had quite clear role descriptions for the vice chair and the chair, and we had a kind of application process, and then had a panel called Friends of Dimensions Council, and that was different colleagues and people from across Dimensions who are connected to the council, having a look through people's applications and discussing them. And then we had input from Discovery Council for the voting. People had to put together a manifesto, we did the voting, and then at September's meeting, those who went forward for it presented their manifestos to council members, kind of telling them all about what they believed in, what their values were, what they would do if they were voted, why they would be really good at the role. So it was a really, really thorough process. So to actually put yourself forward for that is a massive achievement. So we did that, and then we had there was a session about power and influence, wasn't there, Emma?
And our new chair is Jordan Smith, and our new vice chair is Kelsey Verity.
And the main focus of that really was about, the main focus of October's meeting, because it wasn't actually that long after the September 2-day meeting, was to do a really, really good review with council members about what went well for the 2-day meeting, and if anything didn't go so well. So we focused on things like, what did you learn, what did you achieve, what do you think kind of worked well, was there anyone that supported you really well, and then, you know, things that maybe could be improved on, how you felt about the activities, just some of the practical stuff. So we had a really, really good discussion about that, and I've got all the notes for that, so when we come together again we can just keep on improving what we're doing and how we work with people. So we did that, and some of the things, so in terms of what the council have worked on, so from that 2-day meeting we had a really good gallery discussion about doing risky, exciting, sort of scary things, and what that felt like, and what people's experiences of that was, and how they've been supported, and what good support looks like. So that insight has been taken forward for the upcoming Safeguarding Summit that Dimensions is hosting in December. So the council have had impact in that way. And then there was a session about power and what it means to be powerful, and members reflected on what made them powerful as an individual person, so what they were really good at. And then we had a really nice activity where they could kind of say what they thought was powerful and great about their fellow council members. And then we kind of reflected on, okay, well, how do we empower other people? What does it mean to kind of make sure other people feel powerful? So that whole exercise was about just seeing how we're powerful as individuals and how we're really powerful as a collective, how council members are. And then we looked at influencing and kind of the things that were out of the sphere of influence for council members. So some of the things we actually have no control over, or council members can't really influence. And that helped to focus on the things that council could influence. And then members got to vote on the things they wanted to prioritise in terms of influencing. So that looked like things like Dimensions training for colleagues and things like that. So in the new year we'll be reviewing that and setting some priority pieces of work that members want to work on. So that was in September, and then October was just a really good review of the meeting. And then our next meeting in November, next week, there's going to be a really good discussion around social care funding, because a few members are going to Parliament to sort of share experiences with MPs about the challenges of social care funding. So that'll be a way for council to influence in that external work.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago. No, it was a couple of months ago. It was back in March, I think. Back in March, Sarah Swindell got me to do a big thing about my menopause, and on a webinar for build that's organisation out dimensions, and I spoke to about 600 people on that webinar, and then Megan Brown, who's taken over Sarah because she had to go off for a year. She got me speaking to a press about my menopause, was following up on that, and then I got my article published, and everybody likes it on social media.
Well, we just had a look, didn't we, at the engagement that you'd had on social media for your stuff. It's like amazing. And speaking to 600 people, you know, having somebody with disabilities, someone who you know, is going through a particular experience, talking to that many professionals is just incredible, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah, something like that. And if you want to read my article, check me out on the Diamonds and social media. And this is a download section, and we speak about what we doing outside of work. I'm looking forward to going to see the new Paddington film. What's coming out on the 8th of November, and it's Paddington in Peru. It really looks good because I've seen all the Paddington films, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Oh, and one more thing, it's a new series of Monkey Life, that's filmed down in Dorset, where Dan Cronin and his wife is unfortunately sort of passed away, but his wife keeps going, and it's a brand new series on it, and I just watched the first two episodes today.
Is it actually about monkeys?
Yes. It's down in Dorset, and I've been twice to see that sanctuary.
It's a sanctuary. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And Amy, what are you hooked up on?
I'm not sure. It's a bit embarrassing, Emma, to tell you, to be honest, but I have been absolutely binge watching Married at First Sight. Every time it comes on, that one and the Australian one, I am hooked in to the drama. My little escape in the evening. Comes on at 9 o'clock, so I've done bedtime, I've done all the stuff, and I sit down with my chocolate and get hooked into other people's dramas, to be honest.
How long is it on for?
How many weeks?
No, how long is it? Is it hour or 30?
It varies. Sometimes it's longer when it's a juicy commitment ceremony or dinner party or something. I can't even. It's on Monday to Thursday, so I sort of I'm on it over the weekend, to be honest. You could just watch it over a weekend at the same time. Not on. I could save it up and binge it on the weekend. But I'm also looking forward to I've just signed up to do a jewelry making course. I was doing jewelry making just before COVID, and felt like COVID kind of took away lots of people's hobbies. So I'm really excited about doing that again this winter.
No, it's not really my tea. It's not really my tea, be afraid. I've seen it advertised, but it's not. I don't like that kind of TV. I like nature programs. And thank you for listening. And it's over to Amy.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for having me, Emma, as well. I'll see you at council next week. If you liked what you've heard, or you've got a comment or something you want us to talk about more, then pop us a comment below, or you can get in touch with the council by email at dimensions@dimensions-uk.org.
Yeah, it was fantastic talking to you, Amy. I got a bit more, and I've done my double, because I actually interviewed other Amy when she started. So I've done a double.
Well, maybe I need to interview you.
I hope that wasn't too nerve-wracking, Amy.
No, it wasn't. Not with you. It can never be nerve-wracking when I'm with you.
Bye.
Bye.
I like that comment, like herding cat.
Well, we always have lots of cats on our team calls, don't we? That's why.
Yeah, right. You've just shown your cat twice today.
Yeah, and teddy bears, giant teddy bears of all shapes and sizes make their way into our council meetings and team calls, don't they?
Oh God, yeah.